Studio. Hello. Let's see. So, welcome everyone to today's new season of GodFidence. We're going to get started. We're going to let a few of you guys start chatting with us and letting us know you're out there. It's so good to hear from you guys or see you. It's a new season. Tell us where you are tuning in from. All righty, everyone. So as soon as we get some chatting going on here, let us know we're all good to go. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna do some few technical background things here. Can't hear you. Can you hear us now though? Yes. Want to take it out there messing with us, babe.
That's what
She's probably right.
Hello, Yvonne.
What's going on, people?
Happy birthday to your husband, Horace. Horace Holmes, happy birthday. Shout out.
Am I wrong to like last week or 2 weeks ago, or maybe last month or last year? Maybe I don't know. Hey, Gwen, what's going on?
Trying to keep up.
I'm trying to keep up.
Hey, Sonia. Pastor Urban Harvey and Sonia Harvey.
What's up, Myra? Good to see you.
Al Adams.
Good evening to you too. Hey, you guys, do us a favor
Smith.
before we get started. What's up, Ivy Pittman?
Hey, cuz.
Do us a favor, tag someone, or do a quick text to say, hey, look, you guys got to get on here because it's a new season. We don't want you guys to miss anything. And we've got some special guests. And
Very special guest.
yes, very special guests. I mean, you guys thought last season, the last episode in the season was fire. We got some more for you today. And hey, Trenda Jones, where are you tuning in from? I know it's the first time us seeing you, Trenda. So tell us where you are tuning in from. Lorenzo Wright, what's going on? Opalaka. Opalaka. Did you spell it wrong?
It's Apaka.
Oh, Apaka.
Apaka,
Florida.
Hey, Lo, what's up, happening, Lo? That's Pastor Carl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He took care of Gene and I. We down there. He always personal PPA, and he's do a good job.
We're gonna have to go then. Come on, Lorenzo, right? Come through. No respect to persons now.
Hey, I can't wait till the next Monday. Also, next Monday is a special treat.
Welcome.
We gonna talk about that's Wicked Brother, Anthony Wicked. Yeah.
Oh, I'm being
That's it. This is Andre's brother, and also his wife be on Anthony's wife be on every week.
Oh, really?
But I can't wait till next week because we're gonna talk about the honeymoon is over. Turn out the lights. Hey, Reggie, you hear me there? Honeymoon is over. Turn out the lights.
Not you guys. It's about that time. You know what I feel like, babe? It is so good just to be in a relationship with people, or you rather, and just laugh. Isn't it good? I mean, Fuller literally every morning, and this is a testament to what's mama name? What's your mama name again? Rosa Fuller. I know she had to laugh because every one of Fuller's siblings, they laugh at every conversation. Who know that is true? I mean, everybody in the family just laughs, and I love it because it brings so much joy into my life. I was not used to laughing all the time. I took life just way too serious, and I'm just glad that I've got you in my life. Thank you, baby. I know Yvonne Holmes, get a room, or whatever. So at any event, you want to do the intro for our special friends and your girlfriend who got a husband. Let's get that straight. First off, she got a man.
Oh yeah, real man too.
She got a man.
Real man.
And he was like, he don't play. He got some brothers. He got some sisters.
I'm glad he loved me. Let me tell you this. I go back to these people about 35 years.
Wow.
Always been the same. Always been the same. Steady as you go. I mean, if you want a rock in your life, you want Reginald and Ezelle. They have been personal friends that's in my holies of holies. I can talk to them about anything all the time, no matter what time I call. You know, you got to have some friends like them. No matter what time it is, and no matter what you're going through, they on call. They on speed dial.
But they gonna tell you the truth too.
Oh yeah. They gonna do that. Now they might come defend you. When they get you behind the curtains, they're gonna wear you out. But I had the opportunity also to preach Reginald ordination service. So we go back there for every time I had a big event at my church. I need somebody to train my people. There was no other name discussed. There was no other name I want to call but Reginald Ezelle. Monte, any kind of legal, any kind of accounting work, anything. I mean, she's a 5+5 talent. Yeah. And they match each other because he's 5+5. So I mean, what can I say about it? I just want to introduce y'all, present to others my very, very dear friends, Monte and Reginald Ezelle.
Thank you, guys.
Hello.
Oh, look good. Come on now. You got your hair done and everything one time. Come on.
Age agree with you guys. Got the nail done. What about the feet?
No.
You can't hold them up that high.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. About this time we got today, which is your money, my money, and your money is my money. So we said that, we were going to, I didn't take out the subject.
There's no cookie cutter cutting. It don't matter, I can go with it. There's no cookie cutter marriage counseling about money, because you can't deal with it until you get there. And when you get there, what works? Now, at my late wife, Jean, one while she was good with the money, then she backslid, then I took over. Then I backslid and she got it again. So we rotated. I had an account that I worked out of. She had an account because my main, my check was deposited in that account that she was responsible for, and she paid the bills out of that account, and I had another account. So each couple had to work out their own salvation when it comes down to money, because money is a big issue.
It's a big issue, and then David and I, we had a joint account that we paid all the bills out of. He had his own personal business account, and then I don't even think I had my own personal account. I just had a family account, because I didn't know what to do about this. Money became a big conversation in our marriage. It was an argument at times in our marriage. And so, but I felt like sometimes that my money was his money. His money was kind of my money. And then it was all mixed up into who's paying what and not paying what. And, I'm responsible for, this part, because, and I'm saying this to Ezelle because David was self-employed. And so when you first start a business, you want somebody to come equal to the relationship, but there was no equal finances. And so I found myself as the woman, because we got women on here that feel like they're super independent or dependent, but yet independent, but I was doing a lot. And so money was a big challenge.
And you almost became resentful. Okay, y'all better start that before we get too much.
Shut my mouth.
So y'all just run with it.
What we gonna talk about?
No, but we are pretty much the same way, in the sense of we have our own individual account that both of us are on all of the accounts, both names.
Right.
I have an account that allowance. Yeah, my allowance that I spend and use, and then we have a joint account that she pay all the bills out of, and then I mean, I don't know how many. I don't even know where all the money's at. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
That's what I'm saying. Saying one take, come on, one take. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Y'all stay in control.
How much we have? I said we got some. I don't know how much. So I'm gonna let her tell you where it's all at.
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna tell where it's all at, but
I love it.
But one of the things that I can truly say, and I'm gonna kind of echo what you all said at the beginning, is that there's no cookie cutter to how you operate the finances in your marriage. It's got to work for both of you. But the key is it has to work. And the thing that for me is that you can't have an individual that is selfish, and you can't have an individual that's obsessed with money. And one thing about money, when you come together and it becomes joint, you cannot have your own agendas. So the thing that he and I are always mindful of, and I try, since I am the one that handles the finances in the household, I try to be mindful to keep him updated on everything that's going on, or and any goals that we have established. And that's the other thing too, is that a lot of times couples don't sit down and go over those goals for the household. So we have goals for everything else, but we don't have goals for the household. So if there's a debt we're attacking, we got to take that together. One thing about the finances in the household, it's a multiplication of two. When you multiply one, you're gonna get the same thing. So when you multiply something by two, it's gonna double itself. So that means both of us have to participate in it, and put our part in whatever plan or whatever goal we've established. And I think a lot of times when people come together, they're so used to being their money. It's my money or it's his money. But now that we're together, it's our money. It's just that, my part, I control my part, his part, he control his part. But whatever it is, it has to be a workable plan for both parties.
Yeah. I always find it really interesting when my girlfriends from the past, I'm not talking about current girlfriends, because we saved, and we I think for the most part, my friends, we do the right thing. But I remember how, and we all have heard it, I bought some, but I had to tip on in the house and put it in the closet. Mm-hmm, and I'm so thankful that I don't have someone that's not a Fuller. Fuller is like, they buy what you want. Mm-hmm. We work hard. And so the finances are not an issue. Now, I will say, on this show, everyone, we share a lot of our personal information because we want to be transparent. We don't use a lot of scripture, even though if it happens in the conversation.
But it's real life ministry. Real life ministry.
And we want to tell the truth because we know that other people out there deal with some of these things, and so, but we haven't put our finances all together yet. We went today, isn't that interesting? We'd be having this conversation. I hadn't even thought about it. We went today to one of my bank accounts, and I said, you know what? We're going to Paris in November. And Fuller and I agreed, because we're planning this trip, that we would both sow money into the account. Every time somebody sowed a seed or we had extra money, we'd put it into that account together. And so what I decided to do, I also have in that account, when I sold my house, my Airbnb, it's got a large sum of money there, right? But the only people that can touch that is Fuller and myself. But I'm so thankful that we're adding balance to what works as we've gotten older. And it may not make sense for a lot of people. They're like, why don't you put your money with it? Well, I didn't ask you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Like Ezelle said, what works for you. It's who you're doing this. And, with me, I can't help but bring up Jane because, she's a part of my life so long. But Jane used to say, man, I got this on sale. Like, it was such a good deal. I said, Jane, why are you telling me that? Because I never asked you about money or what you bought or what you didn't buy. Because Darlene, coming into this relationship, I told her money was not an issue with me. I'm not, you got to have it, you need it. But I know where my source is. Whether I had $20 in the bank, I know God was going to take care of me today, tomorrow, and the next day and the next day. So that's not a concern of mine. But you good with money for is saving and keeping it. So we're a good combination because I'm both of us are givers. So
I like to spend now. He for real.
I work long enough to spend.
Come on. But yes.
But I don't just buy for myself now. I'm not selfish.
No,
not at all. I mean, I look for you first, and that's like the last time we went shopping. It was amazing.
We know you laughed that we just been talking to each other.
I was looking to buy you something, and I was over there looking in the jewelry counter for you, and then you doubled back behind me and was looking for something for me.
Yeah.
And that was my first thought, was to get you something valuable.
So I got a question for Pastor Ezelle. Both the individuals on our meeting today, our episode, are both pastors, Wante as well as Reginald. They're both pastors, and so, but I'm going to ask this question to Reginald Ezelle, Pastor Reginald Ezelle. You have, I'm sure, you both have had members come to you, whether it's members or non-members, that have wanted counseling, I'm sure, about their finances. What's the number one issue with the finances that you've experienced? If you can think, like, just what's the one or two things that most people fight about in relationships?
I think the biggest one is no restraints. I think that's,
wow, that's good. Yeah.
They don't have any restraints on what they do, when they do it, and how much they do it with. So they don't consider what their plans for tomorrow or their plans for the future. They just spend them just for the moment, and so they ended up, a lot of time in debt, above their head, above the means, above their resources, and that always causes problem in the marriage. And so that's the thing, is no restraints. I think that's the thing, is they buy sporadically or compulsively, So I think that's the biggest problem. Yeah. No planning.
Yeah. And for me, the thing that hurts too is that when you go into a relationship, especially if you've had a relationship before where there was no trust when it came to the money, or when you came up in a household where there was a divorced parent and let me just put it out there, my parents divorced, and my mom, when they divorced, my mom did not have control over the money. So when they divorced and my mom walked away, she walked away with nothing. That's because she didn't have control over the money. She didn't have no say-so of the money. And so she walked away with nothing. So, she was borrowed from Peter to pay Paul. And as a child looking at that, in my head, I said, that'll never happen to me.
Yeah.
So what I did was, when I got into a marriage relationship, my mother at that time was so bitter. The first thing she said to me is, never let a man know what you got. Right. Always have that stash to the side.
She still do.
Right.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I know.
you know.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because it's just been ingrained in our heads to always
yes
take care of yourself.
Exactly.
So you married,
right.
Sure, don't be so dependent
that
you forget in case.
And that was the thing that she would tell me all the time, just in case you end up like me. And for years, I lived by that motto, and I always had that stash. And we were trying to buy a house or something, and I told the lady at the bank, I said, make sure you talk to me. And so they had a question, and they didn't call me, they called him. So they told him we had this big account, and he was like, no. And she said, yeah, and gave her the name and all that. So when I get home, he said, where did this money come from? And at that time I had to, tell him, about the situation and come clean as to why I felt the way I did. So from that point on, he don't care. He know I'm going to have a stash somewhere.
Yeah.
But he's not that type of person that it's a big deal, because his philosophy, as long as when I come in that household, I can turn those lights on.
That's right.
I have a house, I have a car. Right. And when I have a need is there, he said, I don't care what you do with the money. But everybody can't say that, but we're free to the point that he knows I'll never do anything where I don't consider him.
Yeah. Right. And that's a trust factor.
And that's a trust factor.
That's a trust factor. You have to trust one another.
Yeah.
You do.
I mean, I know Darlene trusts me, and I trust her. I mean, look, I trust her with my health, because I had some health challenges, and we wasn't even married then. And she took care of me. She made sure I had everything I need. She was there on the spot. And look, if I can trust her with my health, money is not an issue, because so she proven to me that she's worthy of my trust. And so I trust her with everything. I mean, I share her all my passwords to everything, that my accounts, all my accounts, to my phone, everything. I don't hide. I don't be running around hiding my phone and all that kind of stuff and sneaking down in the basement trying to call somebody. She got all, I got location on my phone where she can find me if she need it, and vice versa. It's a matter of trust.
When we were at the bank today after Fuller left because he had to go to another bank for a meeting.
Right.
I was doing all banking and stuff today. But I asked the lady, she gave me a printout of the bank statement, and it said my mom was the beneficiary, and then it had Fuller on there as on the bank account. As a joint person on the account. And before I left, I said, now if something were to happen to me, I want to make sure that my husband has first say. She said, oh no, he's joint on the account. And so he automatically supersedes the beneficiary. I was like, so good, because what happens is, and you guys know it, Ezelle, that our relationships and our marriages, and single too, we don't talk about the finances. We don't talk about the beneficiary. Yeah. I don't even know, in some cases, me and Fuller, when we were first gotten married, I didn't want him to think that I was really trying to look at his life insurance policy because he's older than me. Or I know why Darlene's asking, no. I like to handle business.
Right.
And if something were to happen in life, unfortunately happen, I want to make sure that he has a life insurance policy on me, and there's one for him, remaining as well. Because my mom, like you, Wante, my mom, her husband passed away, my stepfather passed away, and she thought for years I would say, Dad, did you take care of getting your will done? He didn't want to talk about it. Look, I know people are on here as well. Y'all don't want to talk about it. Y'all don't want to go into that conversation. It's the conversation you got to have.
Right.
So our young people, and I mean young as in our age on down, that they don't talk about it. And unexpectedly, people are passing away. And so, but my mom, her husband passes away, and she thought she was the beneficiary. Turns out he never went back and updated his will, so his son got everything, left her with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
well, that's the other thing too, is that we don't have those conversations, especially in our community. I was just on what you were saying. I was reading the other day about Chad Bowman, that from the Black Panther, died with no will.
Yes.
And probate ate $90,000 of his money up, and then Internal Revenue got some, and then what was left was split between his wife and his family.
And
that shouldn't be. And so we have to have those dialogues in our family, not just with us as a couple, but even with our parents, have those conversations, because it's time out for us leaving our family with nothing.
Right.
With debt. We're living with something. We're living with debt.
Right. But not only that though, but I had someone say, and it was a slap in the face, somebody that was a business guy. And he said that one thing that we do, we believe in prayer and fast and all of that. But then when we die, we got to do PayPal or do something to bury each other, GoFundMe to bury one another. And not only that, but I want to add this too. Get some insurance, some health insurance, because you could go broke if you did not have any insurance. And then it determines the type of care that you get also. So we part of the faith community, look, take care of your business, get some hospitalization, get all type of insurance, life insurance,
legal insurance.
And get a will and get it done. I mean, it's time for us to
jokingly.
Right. But no, I'm not joking though.
Yeah, but people do. They're and I believe Ezelle, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. And I know you guys are members and all that of Legal Shield. So people don't do their will because it's expensive, or they don't have the time, or they don't ever think that life is going to happen to me. I did a presentation today at a school system, and I didn't ask how many people have their will done, because I know the results. Out of 9 out of 10 people in that room, and 9 out of 10 people on this Zoom on the streamer don't have a will.
Well, I think Yvonne said on the chat, she said, make sure that you also update and have that conversation with your children. And she is so right, because one of the things that happens is that when we don't have those dialogues or when we don't have things prepared, our children end up fighting with one another.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And then, don't be gun shy about talking about you do Legal Shield.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not trying to promote it all there, but that's a resource that people could use to get their will and don't cost them a whole lot of money.
Right.
Matter of fact, if you got Legal Shield, it don't cost nothing.
Right. Tell them real quick what happened with Gene after you trying to sell your house.
You can tell. They can tell. But you know what? I had a living trust, and I'm thinking legal. I'm thinking a legal trust with the same thing as a will. So when she passed, I did not have a will for her. So I had to probate her will. But I'm saying this: my daddy had a will, and he died in November, and Jean was in the following year in April. And I had my will done about 3 months before we probated Daddy's, because it determines what type of lawyer you had, what type. Legal Shield did it for me with a 20% discount, and then I got it done 3 months. And then he had a will, updated will. But because of the type of attorney that you all have hired to represent Legal Shield, I got Dean's will probated real quick. One thing you know that because
it was wait ho. It was real quick for you, but it seemed like an eternity for me because you're a real estate agent. I was wanting to get paid. I was ready to get paid.
Now, see, that's real talk, you guys. Real talk.
That's what friends can do.
So, let me ask you another question. We talk a lot about marriages and money. Today is the topic is money. What about our single people? What should they be thinking about? They're like, I don't have no husband. What do I do? You still need to get a will, first of all. But what other conversations are you guys having with? You have family, sisters that are single, and what should we be telling the audience that have single people listening as far as it relates to finances? What should they be doing?
Good question.
They have to live by a budget. I don't think that people know the importance of a budget in their lives, and if getting married is not going to straighten out your finances when you
it enhances it, don't it?
So I think working out a budget and living by a budget and making sure that, again, like you said, I think people think that planning is a evil thing.
A curse.
Yeah, it's a curse. Planning is a good thing. When you plan, then you're not caught off guard or you're not surprised about what happened.
Well, not just planning, but discipline. Being disciplined as a single person, then you won't have a problem when you come together with someone else, and it requires you to be disciplined.
And not looking for somebody to marry somebody to bail you out because you don't know how to manage your own finances.
Pay yourself.
Good
and pay yourself. You put something aside every pay period. Pay yourself and don't touch it.
Right. Well, I think that people. The thing about it is, in our day and time, there's people are more knowledgeable now than when we came up, and so they don't have an excuse anymore. The walking in ignorance is a choice, and so my thing is that if you really want to get past your situation, your circumstance, you have to do things differently than you're doing, especially if you keep doing the same thing and getting the same result. So you have to figure out a means or a method that's going to work where you're going to be able to pay yourself. Of course, tithe and then pay yourself and then live on a budget. Because if you don't, you'll never find yourself getting ahead. You're going to always be paycheck to paycheck. And then if you're struggling like that, if it's really that difficult, find your side. I don't want to say hustle anymore because hustle has gotten Black people in trouble. Find yourself another real business. Instead of a hustle, because a hustle has gotten us in trouble because we've gotten those side businesses, and that's all it has become is a hustle because we never legalized it. Not just legalized it, we never set up a system where we paid into the system. Because I know people that had done that and they did hustles trying to get extra money, all this kind of stuff. And then they end up doing that for a life. But then when you get older, you never put anything in the system. So when you try to file for Social Security, there's nothing there because you did a hustle all your life. So if you're going to do something on the side, make it legal, make it real, so it gives you a purpose and a driving force. So if you ever decide to leave that prison job, you can, that's what I call it, when you're clocking in for somebody else. When you're helping somebody else pay their bills and live the lifestyle they live. When you decide to do it for yourself, then you have something legally established as that you can bring up other people on board and be successful at it.
Yeah, you know,
good advice.
Yeah. As you were just chatting about that, that made me start thinking about that we also don't save the 401k. That's a big deal because, you know, like my mother, I'm so thankful that she put some money aside so that now she can live in the assisted living community. That does cost a lot of money. I mean, can you guys, let me just tell everyone, you know, I know none of us expect to live in an assisted living because you think that your children, or that you think you're just going to be all, you know, healthy and nobody's going to have to come and take care of you. But if your kids have to take care of you, you don't want to have that to happen either. But we're not ever thinking about any of that. Get yourself some long-term care insurance. Man, my mom's facility, it costs $5,000 a month. So she's like, Darlene, I could have a house to live in, but you can't take care of yourself.
Right.
In the house by yourself. And so the long-term care covers those types of expenses. But what she did do is that she had not necessarily a 401k, but she saved her money. Mm-hmm. So all the money that we have, that she saved over the years, that's what I used to pay. And then now the other part we got to think about is as the children, do we have enough in case mom and them don't have enough? So you're not just living for right now for you and your own, you living for your parents as well. You know, and so what thoughts do you guys have on, like, you know, saving 401(c)(3)? I know the time is full. Keeps looking at it's 4:32. We're gonna go about 10 more minutes, you guys. Mm-hmm. And so and it's recorded, so they can stop it and they can come back or whatever. But maybe 5 more minutes. Okay. So thoughts.
Well, you know, for me, I'm my husband can tell you, I'm big on not just saving. That's why you have to have a budget. That's why you have to be able to put things aside to be able to address your issues in the future and don't live like today. I know the Bible says live as if this is your last day, but when it comes to finances, I don't think it meant that. I think, you know, we have to make sure that we look at what the future may entail and address those issues now. We can't wait till we get to the future and then try to address it. It's too late because you need that time. And that's the awesome thing that I love about God is that, you know, that the time he give us to get things together and to do the things necessary. So I think that I'm a big component on investing. We invest in the stock market. We invest in when I was at the Postal Service for 16 years, you know, I did the 401k thing. I always do those things to make sure that I'm thinking about future, not just present. But he and I invest big in the stock market. Yeah. And you know, I'm a real estate agent, so I do other things to try to generate income so that I have money to invest in real estate or whatever that may be. And just because you're single or married, you know, those things are attainable if you just get educated on how to do it. And the thing that holds us back is we always say we don't have money to do X, Y, Z. When I was at the Postal Service and I left the Postal Service, I had so much in the stock market. It was unbelievable. But you know what I did? I started somewhere. So I started with $25. And then I went from $25 to $100 on 4 stocks. And then I went from $100. So I started where I was. I didn't just, one thing about us, if we can't start big, we do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
But we got to learn you can start small and build it to be big.
One step at a time.
Yeah, it could be step at a time. So if we start with $10, if that's all you got, find a stock that you can do for $10. If you have, you know, whatever you have, start with where you are. When you get enough, or you can start saving that amount. And, you know, they always tell you, make sure you have an emergency fund. We have enough for a year's of emergency fund. So if anything happened and we need that income, we can survive for a year until we can come up with another plan. So we have to do those things to protect ourselves. And where this world is going now, we don't have a choice because things aren't going to get better. They're going to get worse. And so we got to make sure that financially we prepare for whatever, and not just worse. It's going to be a good thing for us because as the market change and things begin to fail, we'll be able to pay where we want to for things and invest in things and get things at a price that we couldn't even imagine. But you can't do that if you don't have anything saved up.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You done said a lot. But you know what time it is?
Yeah, time went by so fast, man.
It did.
And we'll have to call y'all back at some point and have some more open, honest discussion. Because I like the honesty and the transparency, because that's what real ministry is. It's not just teaching out the Bible and but I want some real life example. I don't want to know what Kenneth said or John Doe said or whatever out the Bible. I want to know your testimony, your personal relationship. So it's all about to me. This even what we're doing now. It's all about ministry. We didn't use the Bible, but we are living epistles of God. So we represent everything we do. We know we Christians, and we can say that assuredly. So be real. I hope you have gotten something out of this today, man. The day was just awesome to me. It was really awesome today.
And look, we didn't even know what we was really going to go into.
Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much, man. We got to go. We got to go.
I got to listen to the man of God.
We got to go.
See you guys next week. Thank you, Wante.
Okay. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank y'all.
Love you guys.
Okay.
See y'all later this week.
Yes, you will.
Grace Life. Hey, don't forget, Thursday start Grace Life at 10 o'clock in the morning, and so be there. We're gonna have a great time. The word's gonna be the word of grace, so be there. Dr. Dollar, Pastor Taffy, Greg Big Cow, I forgot. There's
it's a special guest.
Sister. But anyway, just be there. All right. Yeah. You'll be blessed.
We'll see you
all right.
Next week, same time, Monday, 6 p.m.
Right.
Standard time.
The honeymoon over.
See you guys. Thank you, Ezelle. Take care.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.